right, it's Derick Gant, the 24K Life podcast, and I am here to set you up with this amazing young man who's got a serious problem. I'm just telling you, the dude's got an issue. He can't stop writing books. He's 15, he's in school, and he can't stop writing books. We're going to find out what makes him go full tilt. He's the Kobe Bryant of 15-year-old authors. And we want to find out why, how, when, what, and where. And we want you to introduce your children to someone that's taking names, kicking ass, and doing it the right way. His name is Asher Robinson. Before I introduce you, I want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our podcast, to our YouTube channel, so that you can continue to connect, vibe, and get your 24K life on. Without further ado, let me introduce my man Asher. Hi. What's up, bruh? It is early your side of the universe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. You in California?
Yep. Yeah, San Diego.
Oh wow, you're in San Diego living. That's why you're writing all those books. Now I know you need to help pay the mortgage. San Diego, man. Let me tell you something. I know this is about interviewing you, but I gotta tell you something. So my entire life, I'm over 50. You're 15. So my entire life, I heard about how amazing San Diego is.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard it's the spot. Perfect weather, perfect, people. Everybody's nice. They're good looking. The ocean, everything's great in San Diego. And so last year, my nephew plays Division I football, and I got a chance because they played San Diego State. And I'm here to tell the whole world all of it's true. San Diego was the bomb. It was a great spot to visit and to be. So tell us about you, man. What school do you go to?
So I would go to San Diego, which is it's a public school in Citas. That's it. Just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore, huh?
Just trying to get through high school.
Okay. Yeah. And how was your experience so far?
It's pretty good. It's, I guess, just what normal people would expect from high school experience, except it's a little different when you're an author because people do treat you differently. Not always for the best.
Oh wow! So what does that mean? You get bullied, you get discriminated, you get what? What are you getting, man?
Some people, I guess, don't understand why I do this, so they just kind of tease it. Mm-hmm. But I like it because it's kind of free publicity.
Okay.
Because as they tease it, they spread it around the school. So keep going, I guess.
So you're doing the rabbit in the briar patch, and you're probably way too young to know what that. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, you're probably too young. So there's this old parable that I'll tell you the short version, but basically, this rabbit was getting chased and he was getting ready to get eaten, and he was like, "Oh, don't throw me in the briar patch, please don't throw me in the briar patch." And he's like, "Do anything you want to me, don't throw me in the briar patch." So the animal, of course, threw him in the briar patch, and he was like, "I'm out," because he could get around the briar patch without getting hurt. So what you need to do is you need to run around school and say, "Yeah, don't look up any of that. My books that are on Amazon."
And then they do. Yeah.
And so that's what you want, though. Like you said, it's free publicity. So let me tell you, man, when I was in high school, so I was a little older than you, maybe my junior year, they made it mandatory that we took computer science classes. Okay. So this is when you had to connect to your telephone, your home phone. Like you guys don't probably even have a home phone, but you had to connect to your home phone for dial-up. Okay. And this is when AOL first came out. So they made us go to computer science class, and we couldn't, when I say we, us athletes, we just wanted to play ball and get through school. And we didn't want anything to do with computer science class. And then lo and behold, had I went to computer science class, I'd be, a billionaire by now. But I still did well, so I don't complain. But man, what you're doing, my point to this story is what you're doing, all of them are going to wish they had talked to you, befriended you, and learned how to do what you're doing. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, I just love writing. It's so fun.
So how did you get started writing?
So that's a question I'm asked a lot. I don't really know the answer. All I know is at like a super young age. By that I mean probably like 4 to 5. I was always doing like little comic books about like aliens and stuff because I was always interested in that kind of thing. And then when I was 7, I had this camp I went to where you just came up with a short story, hand wrote it, and it was published to the Library of Congress. obviously everyone's story was horrible, not to discredit people, but we were all 7. That has to be. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I like telling stories. So I just kept on writing. And then in like middle school, I took creative writing classes.
Okay.
And I started writing longer and longer stories from like a page to 10 pages to 100 pages. And then finally, when I was 13, 14, I started the first draft of my first novel, which was published March of this year.
Okay.
And then while that book was in the publishing process, I wrote another one, which was published like a week or 2 ago. And then I'm finally halfway done with another.
So are you writing fiction, nonfiction? What are you writing?
I like fiction. I like horror. Yeah.
Horror?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Gory horror? Like people getting...
I don't typically write that. My first book was a slasher, but I don't like writing that. I like more psychological thrillers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually can I show you something real quick? I have the copies of my books. I'd like to show you something.
Yeah. Let me see them.
It's funny. So this right here is my first novel, Maniacal, which just means extremely wild, violent behavior. It's very thin, as you can see, because it's just like a slasher. But then my next book, She's a Breathing. It's quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I had an event at my school the other day where you could sell things, and a lot of people got this. And I hope that
did they really?
Yeah.
That is so dope. That is awesome, bro.
Yeah, I hope people like it. I love this book. A lot of the characters in there are people I know, so it means a lot to me. Yeah.
Are they family people? Are they school friends?
I have family. I have friends. Like the main character is literally just my dad. That's not a joke.
What did he say? Does he like the portrayal in the book, even though it's fiction?
Yeah,
does he like the portrayal? Okay.
It's not extremely accurate, but it has some things that that relate to him quite a lot.
Okay. So. All right. Well, he owned it and he liked it. So I'm sure he's a super proud dad, man. I'm proud of you, and you're not even my kid. So that's awesome.
Yeah. He likes that, all right.
Well, good. So what do you think your plan is? You have 2 more years of high school.
Yes.
You're probably going to have 4 books by then, since you're in 2 already, and you're already on your 3rd. You're going to have way more than 4.
Yeah.
So do you think you're going to go to college, or do you think you're going to just start,
I am
just going to write?
I do want to go to college.
Okay.
That's something that I've just wanted to do it. I don't want to miss out on that experience, but of course I'm going to continue writing.
Right.
So far, writing has been successful for me. I'll say that. It's been going really well. And it's something that I really enjoy doing because I love telling stories and letting other people enjoy my stories. So it's something that I'm definitely going to pursue. And if it is something I can do as a career, that's amazing. But I still want to go to college, and I'm still going to be writing in college.
Okay, so you're in California, so do you have like a desire to like write horror movies, to get in the movie industry, or what?
No, that is actually interesting because I do have some connections to the movie industry, and like one of my best friend, I've known him for like forever, years. He likes filming short movies, so he's going to start. I think he might pursue that because he's going to start making short films based off scenes in my books, and maybe. If he goes to a college for filming, we can end up working together in the future. So
that's a great collab right there, man.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
So when you start thinking about AI and all that it can do, how do you see yourself incorporating? Do you plan to incorporate any of that in your books, or do you like the authenticity of just having your own creative ideas and putting them on paper?
Ideas. I know all about like AI and ChatGPT. I know about that stuff. I don't want to use it for my ideas because I like coming up with original. It is useful for certain scenarios, though. There's like certain things, like the blurb on the back of the book, like this. Right here. Some people can't describe it, so it is helpful to get that to summarize your book. But I think that for me, and what all of the authors should do, is have everything in their book, like in their work, like on the pages, be their own stuff, be completely original, have the idea be theirs. I don't think they should use AI because I feel like that's kind of like not dishonesty, but you could come up with something so much better,
right?
Like your own story. So it is. I do use it for like the blurbs on the back because that is helpful, but never for my own writing. I never do that.
All right. Well, that's interesting, man, because it's getting widespread. I read the other day that it wasn't John Legend. I can't think of who it was, but one of the musical artists had a song created from AI that was created to sound like him. Did you hear about that?
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, so this AI technology, so this hacker type guy told this AI that produces music or lyrics and that type of thing to create some lyrics based on this artist, but make it an original song. And it did it, and he was selling it on YouTube or wherever, Spotify, and people were buying it because they thought it was the guy. And so that's crazy what AI can do and how fast it can do it. I mean, it's just insane. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think there's a great collab with your buddy that's thinking about going to film school. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about journalism in college?
I'm not sure. I know I'm taking journalism next year in high school because I think that's fun. I'm not really sure. What's interesting is that there's three things I'm really interested in currently. Writing, that's my number one. Architecture, I love architecture, and then business. So I'll probably do what my dad did. Probably try to go to the same school.
What school is that?
He went to USD, but I still don't know exactly what I want to major in.
Well, keep your options open. I can tell you this much: if you go in 2 years, because you're only a sophomore and you're going in your junior year, if you go you're into college and you're undecided, it's best to be undecided at least that first year, because most of the requirements for graduating, you can get all those out of the way, those preliminary basic requirements while you're still thinking about it. Because people who switch majors, they end up being in school 5-6 years.
If there are many losses in your life, or many things are going wrong, you might examine the ways in which you...
All right, so you've gone through...
Maybe business, because that is really helpful when it comes to writing, because writing is one of the biggest steps, but probably either the biggest step or the second biggest step is marketing.
Okay.
Because I'm quoting someone I know here, but if you could write the best book in the world, but if you don't market it, nobody's going to buy it.
Right.
So that, but I'm not really sure. I have plenty of time to figure it out, though.
That's true. There's so many things that you can do being such an early writer and a master of words and having such a creative intellect. You could be a professor, you could teach it, you could write it, you could movie it. I mean, you cannot do it at all and have it continue to be a hobby and be in business. Now, what type of business is your dad in? You said you wanted to kind of do what your dad did.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go into the same business. He's a developer, so with real estate. So I'm not going to go because I don't find that interesting, but I still want to learn business and how to work it, because like I said, even writing, that's important to know how to do. So probably that.
Okay. Excellent, man. So what's your next book about? You're writing right now. Just give us a general vibe.
So I was bored one day and I was like, I'm going to write a ghost story, but kind of with a twist. So my books, what I'm writing, the first book, like I said, was like I'm going to call it my test novel. That's why I was a slasher. In the previous podcast, I talked about how slashers are super easy to write, so it's like a gateway to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So my second novel was a drama / psychological thriller. So I decided to make this book a ghost story, but more heavy on the drama than the horror.
Okay.
So it follows this woman named Rachel, but throughout the book she's just called Rachel Webb. Her husband was a famous author who recently passed away, and she has to kind of deal. She moved out of the house that she lived in with him because she wants to be away from that. She can't, because she was there when he died, when it happened.
Okay.
She has to stay away from that. But all her life, she has dealt with abuse from parents, drug abuse, all that stuff. Been treated horribly all her life. Her only 2 friends are not the best influence on her. They're just horrible, toxic people. So the entire book is kind of her having to deal with all of that, along with eventually she goes back to the house and scary stuff happens. But I can't really say anything without spoiling. That's the thing.
All right. Okay. Don't say anything. So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you it this way.
Yeah.
So when you are writing these nonfictions, do you go through the whole process in your head or sketch it out and have the full beginning ending before you write the book, or are you kind of making it up as you go?
No, so it's both. So I'll just take this book for example. Before I even started writing, I listed every single chapter. I came up with the titles, and I knew what was going to happen in each chapter.
Okay.
But I didn't know the full story. I just knew the basis idea, and then I had plenty of room for what I wanted to add. So that's my guideline. But then as I go along, of course, I change things drastically here and then. But overall, it's going to be what I envisioned in the beginning. So I like coming up with everything at first, but I also like having multiple surprises as I go.
All right. So how would you recommend parents get their youngsters interested in reading and writing? Because I'm assuming you started reading also when you were writing.
No, I don't really read.
You didn't read, you just started writing.
So I did used to read. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if it's like a dyslexia thing, but a lot of words together, I have a hard time reading.
Okay.
Words get blurry. So that's why I have people review my books for me after I'm done writing. Because I can write, because my brain can come up with the words, but I have a hard time reading. But getting into reading is easy. I would suggest this. It's the same thing as like storytelling and stuff like that. It's just kind of more creative when it's with your imagination. Reading's fun. A lot of people will say that's wrong. It's fun. It's just like I don't know what else to say, because I'm not going to force it.
You know, most people, including myself, when I was in college, when I graduated college, I said I am never going to read another book. You know, I'm just done reading when I graduated college. And then I read more books the year after I graduated college than I had my whole life. But most young people are like, I'm already reading for school. I don't want any more reading, or I'm already writing in school. I don't want any more writing. That's
the problem, is that schools kind of force it upon you. What they do is like in elementary school, they do, which I like this. They'll have like a bookshelf of a bunch of different genres and be like, listen, pick one, read it. And kids enjoy that because they have a choice. But in like middle school and high school, I think the main reason why kids don't like reading is because their teachers are like, this is what you're going to read. I don't care if you don't like it. You're going to finish this book. And then we're going to give you another book you're not going to like, and you're going to read it. That's why they don't like it, is because they're forced to read these boring books that they're not interested in. So it's like, listen, you're 13. You don't need to read about
you're right. You're 100% right. Politics. So, well, you keep writing, and maybe they'll have some other items that they might put on their academia book list, approved book list, and give the kids something that they might actually like to read, especially since it's been written by a peer, you know, or somebody closer to their age.
For kids, but mainly
not kids. I mean, even in high school, I'm saying, even you know, if you had to pick a book to read, do a book report.
My first book is in the school library, and I haven't seen kids reading it. So
are you kidding me?
That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna get this one in soon. This one's in the school library. I don't know how it got that, because on the first page I have a warning where it says, this book contains depictions of graphic violence, strong language, drug use, and is therefore not recommended for audiences under 18. So I don't know how that got in.
Wow.
This one's for more like 14, 16-year-olds. This one.
Okay.
It's a little violent, but they can read it. It's fine. The first one.
I don't even know how dude, that is God working in your favor, that book with that warning got put in the school library. So.
I don't know how. I showed the librarian. Well, I think also it's the fact that my high school librarian used to be my elementary school librarian, so I've known her all my life. So it might be. But
so you got the hookup, bruh. That's what happened. You got the hookup.
I got really lucky. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I look forward to reading your book. I'm going to buy the second one that you put up. Yeah, I'm not a big horror fan, man. I'm a big, I'm not
more psychological than horror, more thriller.
Yeah, but no, that's why I'm getting the second one, because it don't have a warning. It's for 14-year-olds. I can handle that.
It does have a warning, but every book has to have a warning. But it's not as violent.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get that one, man. Well, listen, I am proud, I am happy, and I am honored that you jumped on our podcast, 24K Life. We're going to promote this as a highlight, because more young people need to know that they have the ability if they just tap into it. So
yeah, anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah,
and age doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I like my girlfriend's a published author. She's published 13 books. It's crazy.
Are you kidding?
No, yeah, I'm not. And then, like I said, my best friends does films. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can do whatever you want.
It's in the water. It's in the San Diego water, man. That's what's going on.
No, it's not. No, no. No, it's not. I know people that are not San Diego that do it. Just even if here's what I'm also going to say. Whatever you start, your first or whatever you want to do, book, movie, whatever, it's never going to be your greatest. It's just a stepping stone for your future achievements.
Right. So here's the question. So how do you know if your book is good enough to publish?
It's not. Okay, that came out wrong. You never do know. So like my first book, I knew I'm going to kind of crap on it, which I shouldn't do, but I'm honest. It's not great. It's literally just a cliche slasher. So I knew that it was something basic that would probably not get good reviews, but I also knew that I had to put my name out there. Right. I knew that my first book was not going to be that amazing, which it's not. I'm going to be honest, but at least it really got me out there. So then my next book, I would say my next book is actually pretty good. Is it the best book ever? No. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Do people really enjoy it? Yes. Good. So your book, you never know if it's going to be good enough to publish. You kind of just have to do it. And not to sound harsh, if someone publishes the first book, you're probably going to get a bunch of bad reviews. But then again, it's your first book. Don't give up. Make the next thing better. You'll do well.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. When I wrote my book, you can see it up here on the shelf. When I wrote my book, I wasn't willing to take that risk. So I hired and paid for this expensive editor to make sure that it was going to be a good book. And I told him, I flat out told him, I said, listen, if this is a piece of crap, just go ahead and tell me, and I'll just scrap the idea now. And so I wasn't willing to roll that dice. Now, it's not like some bestseller, but it is a good, solid book. And I made sure that it was a good, solid book because I paid somebody to help me, edit it the proper way and get it published properly and all the fun things that you got to do.
Too, except I'm lucky because it's people that I know personally, so I get it done for free.
Yeah.
So that helps me a lot.
Yeah, I got lucky too, to be honest. It was my editor was somebody who had edited she edited Christian. I used a few swear words in my books, which she wasn't a big fan of, but she had edited like Dave Ramsey books. It's like Dave Ramsey's a big finance guy in the world. And she had edited several of his books, which were bestsellers. And so I had a good measuring stick. So when she told me it was good and it was good enough to represent what I was trying to do, then I felt pretty good about that. But you have been blessed. And you keep making sure that you stay great. You stay grateful because you have friends and you have the librarian and you got your family that is all on your side, man. Use those tools as often as you can, man.
I do, yeah.
All right. Be well. Thank you, man. I enjoyed talking to you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, you heard him. Asher Robinson. It was a great time peeking into the mind of a young man that is a serial author. He is an encouragement to you, to your kids, to other people, old and young, that should step out on their excellence, on your own personal excellence. Don't let anybody dissuade you from delivering your best self at all times. If you want to be 24K, you got to step into your greatness. You got to take that risk. You got to make change comfortable for you because it's never going to be comfortable in the beginning. I'm Derick Gant. I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe and share this with all of your family and your friends.